My name's Greg Curran. I'm the owner-manager of the Sunshine Coast Brewery here at Cunda Park on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. We purchased the business 3.5 years ago. The brewery itself has been in existence for about 11 years in one form or another, but really the only 3.5 years that I've had anything to do with it. It is a family business. In the 3.5 years we have rebranded the business, improved the beers, done a lot of renovations, improved the equipment, and now we're really starting to get ready to market the product. Craft beers in general, there's a world of beers out there, and that's our focus here at the Sunshine Coast Brewery. We're looking at producing some of the main beer styles from different countries. Some of our English beers have done really well at the Australian International Beer Awards. That beer competition is the second biggest in the world. In fact, this year in 2009, we were very fortunate to receive 2 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze. One of the gold medals, the Summer Ale, was actually judged the champion reduced alcohol beer of the competition. There are lots and lots of different styles of beer. Here at the Sunshine Coast Brewery, we have our main beers, the Summer Ale, Ginger Beer, our Best Bitter, a Hefe-weizen, which is a wheat beer, German wheat beer, a Dunkelweizen, a dark wheat beer, Chilli Beer, which is unusual. And then we have our seasonal beers where we'll bring in, say, coming up to summer now, we'll have our Pale Ale. We've been doing a trial with a product we call Pacific Pale Ale, though including a hop from New Zealand, which gives it its true Pacific Pale Ale origins. So it'll be interesting to see how that product goes. I get a lot of enjoyment seeing people enjoy the beers. Our most popular beer would be the Summer Ale, which is the mid-strength beer which won the gold and was judged champion reduced alcohol beer. It's a mid-strength beer, and generally speaking, mid-strength beers don't have a lot of flavour, certainly the ones produced by the mainstream breweries. Our Summer Ale is different in that it's got a lot of flavour. It's made so that it comes out at that strength and is not altered as far as dilution, etc. So the flavour there at the end of brewing is what you're going to get when you drink it at the tap or in the bottle. So Summer Ale is certainly the #1 product. Probably our second most popular would be the Ginger Beer. As far as the ingredients with beer, obviously malt, the hops and the yeast, and water, they're the 4 ingredients we use. Water is important, and some people say beer tastes different if it's made down Victoria compared to the same recipe up here, and put it down to the water. As far as the ingredients we use to make beers, we use the best quality we can find. There is obviously a commercial limit to how much money you can spend on ingredients, given that it's a microbrewery, we've got a small market, and there's a limit to how much people will spend for their beers, no matter how good the ingredients. Most of the hops used in our beers are imported because the style of beer determines that the hop is a certain variety. We try to keep our beers as close to authenticity as possible. And again, the yeasts used are the yeast used generally in that country of origin of the beer. As far as Australian product, we'd like to use local product. In our ginger beer, we use Budrum ginger syrup, which is local. For Chilli Beer, we use chilies, bird's eye chilies from Oz Chili in Bundaberg. It'd be great to brew Australian beers using all Australian products, but from a craft beer point of view, we're not at that stage yet. Since I've been here 3.5 years ago, whoever has been doing the brewing, we sit down, we buy beers from bottle shops, certainly the ones that stock selected beers, and drink different styles, work out what we like, what we think would work up here. As far as favourite beers, I've got several. We brewed a Rauch Beer, which is a smoked beer. In Germany, an area called Bamberg are renowned for their smoked beers. Now, this is a specialty beer where you use grain that has been smoked with beechwood, which is the timber traditionally used to smoke porks and hams. So this beer, the Rauch Beer, when you smell it before you drink it, it smells like smoked pork or smoked ham. And I found it's the ideal beer to have with ham and eggs on Christmas morning, which I have done for the last 2 or 3 years. As far as our craft beer industry, I can see it increasing, particularly from generation to generation. Those group of people in the 20 to 35-year-old age group who enjoy their craft beers, they're not going to go back to mainstream beers easily.